Ladies and gentlemen, here she is, the hilarious Kathy Griffin.
I just had to. I love it here. You're a great comedy town, a great comedy audience. Thank you so, so much. So, part of my Milwaukee, oh, yeah, I brought my camel toe. I don't know if, take a picture. I don't care, take a picture. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and bring my camel toe. I just put a saddle on her and some feed bags. I didn't have to check her, they let me carry on. And I know I'm in a ridiculous outfit. I know, I want my camel toe to breathe, sue me. So, and also, what do you think about my beer garden? This is my beer garden. Do you guys like beer at all? Actually, I got waxed, and then this is what was left over. So, this year I was once again a Grammy nominee. How about that? And I am also a Grammy loser. I know, wah, wah. But at least I got to go. So you want to hear all the backstage dirt? Okay. That's what you came for. Okay, so first of all, there were some pre-Grammy parties that were way too exclusive for me to get in, but I BS'd my way in. Now, the first one was hosted by the Black Eyed Peas, and that was very exciting, and I love them, and I love me some Fergie. So they had this great lineup, and they came out and sang, and then, you know, John Legend, and then Natasha Bedingfield, and, I mean, Earth, Wind, and Fire was there. That group that sings that song, the Dougie Dance, they were there. But I have to tell you, my favorite moment was when they were talking about who their influences were when they were younger, and they started talking about how much they loved Bobby Brown. See, I'm so glad you guys get that. I am so glad, because I just about had the just knowing I could be that close to the Bobby. Okay, so sure enough, freaking Bobby Brown comes out on stage and sang My Prerogative. That's a good party. That is a good party. All right, so he starts to sing My Prerogative, and then, of course, did one of these, you know, like when the artist can't handle it or they can't remember and they just hand the mic like that. So then the Black Eyed Peas came out and just kind of finished the song and were singing back up, but it was worth the price of admission just to see him. All right, so there I am in a nightclub, which is ridiculous, because just so you know, the name of this special is Kathy Griffin, 50 and Not Pregnant. So yeah, in case you were wondering, turns out I'm not with child. And so anyway, I'm too old to even be there, and I'm there with a friend of mine, but when Bobby Brown came out, we were up, and I was fist pumping like Snooki after a fight with Ronnie. I was just, I'm only human. win. I loved it. Okay, so sure enough, I guess whoever came up next to me, some guy, he had to be in his 20s, clearly did not really, saw the back of my head, I don't know what, but sure enough, there's a guy next to me and he starts doing this stuff. Like that, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe he's looking for his seat, and he's got like a military hat on and some sort of trendy outfit. I don't even know what the hell he's wearing. So he turns to me and he says, hey, like that, and I'm like, hello. And then I thought this was so cute. He goes, so what are you doing after? Are you going to an after party? And I go, I'm 50. And then he just goes, it was a buzzkill for him. It was a buzzkill. All right, so then I get invited to another pre-Grammy party that was a private party, totally star-studded, ridiculous. But I couldn't believe my luck. I could not believe my luck when 2 tables away, there she is, Whitney Houston. Deal. Like, of course I'm going to make fun of her like every celebrity, but I really do love her. And, you know, she's the freaking diva. She's the shit. She's awesome. And in addition to that, she seems to have demons. Let's put it that way. Okay. So she's in a sequin dress, and when I saw her on the red carpet, of course, you know, she's not gonna say hi to me, I don't blame her, but when I saw her on the red carpet, it was still exciting, and she's, you know, hugging Sharon Osbourne, and I'm just in heaven watching celebrities love each other. But I still, you know, I got my eye on her. And so on the red carpet, I noticed that she looked beautiful, but her body's a little odd, you know, and I don't know if anybody else here comes from a family of drinkers, but yeah. This is your night, because she had that sort of like unusual body type where her limbs are really skinny, but then in the middle, there's things like settling, and you know, it's like that very specific body type. And so I noticed that, and I noticed that the wig was like a little off, like just, which is always a good sign for me. Okay, so then, in the cavalcade of stars, one of them was the singer R. Kelly, who's back, yes. So anyway, he comes in, and it was really funny, because he came in like Rocky Balboa. He had all these people behind him, and then he had a red sequin scarf on like Billy D. Williams. And he comes in, oh, it was so much pomp and circumstance, I loved it. He comes in singing the national anthem. Right? Thank you. I get it too. I f kids, and I love America. How about that? I do it all. So he comes in, and I'm sort of just chuckling at sort of the spectacle of it, but this is what Whitney Houston was doing, and really nobody else was doing it, so she did kind of stand out. So he comes in, he starts singing, and Whitney is up out of her seat doing this. I know. And then I think that she thought they were the only 2 in the room, because then when he gets to the stage, Whitney is not down like everybody else was sitting. No, Whitney's up in the sequins just doing this. So what I would say is that I'm not a physician, but my guess is that she, you know, does not have her 30-day chip yet. But that's, I don't know, I do not know. Maybe she doesn't want one. Maybe she doesn't need one. So he's behind her, that's right. And then what she does to pleasure herself, and it's the only way she can feel pleasure, is that she has to rub her no-no place on the upside-down soft corner of a f***ing laundry basket. Swear to God. So anyway, let's talk about Oprah, because that's right, she is still delivering no matter what. Now, this is her last season of her regular show, which is fine, because of course, as you know, she's embarked on a different network. And yeah, that's right, it's got a name that I also feel lets us know who we are. You know what I mean? It's called OWN. And you could argue that it's simply her initials, Oprah Winfrey Network, fine. But I think there's a message there, don't you? We are her bitch. She owns us, and we are right here, where we belong. Now, first of all, there's a show on now that I just think is funny because it's called In the Bedroom with Laura Berman. And if you've seen it, yes, if you've seen it, then back me up. Well, easy, don't exit only. Anyway. No, because, you know, I love watching these sex advice shows because they either make me feel like I'm super freaky or like I'm a big prude, but I can work on some shit. So the name of the episode was called Sex and the Laundry Basket. Anybody? Okay, thank you. All right, so here's the deal. There is a couple, and the only, I just heard someone go, oh my God. Yeah, we're talking about it. So there's a couple, and they seem to get along just fine in their marriage, except for one issue, which is this. The only way the wife can have a pleasurable experience during sex is if they do it doggy style. So he's behind her, that's right, and then what she does to pleasure herself, and it's the only way she can feel pleasure, is that she has to rub her no-no place on the upside down soft corner of a f***ing laundry basket. Swear to God. Let's walk this one through, shall we? All right, so the way they do it, as described by them, is that he's behind her, she's on all fours, and the laundry basket is here, and then she just rubs herself on the upside down soft corner while he's giving it to her doggy style. And I imagine it to be something like this. Makes me feel so normal. I just felt better afterwards. And then when Dr. Laura Berman said, how did you come up with this? She said, in college when I would do my laundry. Okay. So is that what happens? Because I didn't go to college. I admit, I'm a dumbass, I didn't go to college. However, it's hard for me to imagine taking my laundry down to the communal laundry room in any college. And then hoping no one's looking while I flip over my laundry basket and f*** it during the rinse cycle. So that show is fantastic. Now, I have some insider stuff for you that's very A-list, and I think you'll like it. Okay, so I recently did the Quentin Tarantino roast in New York. Okay, so I know, it was star-studded. So I really like Quentin Tarantino, and he's a, old pal, and if you read my book, okay. So he purposely sat me next to Uma Thurman, which I really appreciated, because I've said before that she has one of these sort of, I call it a manufactured accent, and I think that she thinks she's from Europea. You know how these actresses sort of come up with like an accent that you can't really pin down? I think she's from like Connecticut or Massachusetts or Europea, I don't know, but so sure enough, Uma Thurman shows up, and she's tall and statuesque and gorgeous and ridiculous. So when she was seated next to me, she's drinking and Quentin is drinking and the roast is going off and it's all kinds of, offensive jokes, which I love. And then she wouldn't stop talking to me about how nervous she was. And then she starts texting. Now, this is on a dais in front of hundreds of people, right? And she's going, it's my kids. I had to tell them where I was because I didn't know I was doing this till this morning. And I go, really? Because I have an email from a month ago that said we were sitting together. So I don't know what her gig was, but sure enough, she seemed to be having a grand old time. And then sure enough, the obligatory Travolta gay jokes start. It's a roast. It's a roast. And he wasn't there. Bad call. Note to self, show up. Anyway, there were only like 3. They weren't that bad. But sure enough, you know, and I don't know why anybody would make a gay joke about John Travolta, except for that picture of him in the Enquirer kissing a dude on a plane on the mouth. But besides that, I got nothing. So then the first Travolta joke happens, and Uma turns to me and says, "That's wrong. They shouldn't be saying those things about John." But loud. So then somebody does another Travolta joke, and people were ripping everybody to shreds, you know? And then finally she turns to me and says, "I'm gonna call off this roast." I'm sorry, I'm just crying as a comedian because it was like the best Christmas Kwanzaa gift I could have gotten. And so when she said, "I'm gonna call off this roast," obviously we're in the middle of a show, there's a lot of people here, I wanted to go smoothly, I love Quentin, and so I turned to her and I said, "Do it." So I'm doing everything I can to try to get her to stop f***ing roast, and Quentin's like pouring her more wine, like looking at me like, So sure enough, I see her furiously emailing or texting again, right? But under the table, as if nobody can notice, f***ing 8-foot-tall Uma Thurman with her blonde hair down like this. I thought she was gonna blow me for a minute. I was like... So I can't resist, and so I just slightly look over, and she's f***ing emailing Travolta. It took everything in my power not to grab that f***ing BlackBerry right then and there and get his email address and be like, "Hi, it's me, Uma. You're f***ing going down harder than you on Tom Cruise." But I didn't. So then the roast ends, and people are kind of, standing up, and people are starting to disperse. And then Michael Madsen shows up late from Reservoir Dogs, serious, really intense actor. But he seemed to have trouble getting his footing. And therefore, I would conclude that he was tired. And then he pulls me to him, and he's sexy, if you're like a dirty, naughty guy, and I don't mind. Anyway, worse things could happen. But anyway, so he pulls me in, and he says right in my ear, he goes, "I want to f you in every room." Okay, so I know, and she was like, "What?" I want to f you in every room, and keep in mind, this is a giant hotel with like 8,000 rooms. And I thought I'd love to, but I would just get too sore. Miley Cyrus has what I lovingly call the whiskey voice. I'm not saying, no, Miley Cyrus now might as well have a bottle of Jack Daniels and a Pall Mall coming out of her, because I went to the premiere of the Justin Bieber vehicle. Yeah. Never say never. Okay. What I will tell you about Never Say Never is that it is an inspiring story, and I love how people keep using that word, that it's inspirational. Remember, this is 16, okay? So that's my favorite thing about the movie, is it is this 16-year-old kid from Canada who is talking about living his dream and finally realizing his dream after weeks, some might say days of struggle. There's an interview in there that I think is so great, which is that Miley Cyrus, who's 18, and remember Biebs is 16, so Miley Cyrus has what I lovingly call the whiskey voice. I'm not saying, no, Miley Cyrus now might as well have a bottle of Jack Daniels and a Pall Mall coming out of her, because there's this great moment in the movie where she talks about kind of being a little bit of a mentor for Biebs, and who wouldn't want her to be? And she's mine too, by the way. And she talks about how, you know, Justin and I'm doing the fake cigarette, she doesn't smoke. Actually, I think she does. Justin and I have a lot in common because, you know, I can relate to his story because when I was that age, I went through a lot of the same stuff. Really? 2 years ago? Really? How do you recall something that happened so long ago? And so there's a great moment in the movie where, by the way, the movie's in 3D for no reason. So, no reason. Did you see it? No reason. So he's singing, and then every so often he'll just go like this. And it's like he bitch slaps you. Other than that, there's nothing 3D about it. And so there's one point where she does a duet with him. And, you know, I'm just saying Miley's kind of been around the block, maybe more than the normal 18-year-old. And so he starts a song, and then she comes out, and you can kind of see the look on her face that maybe she misjudged the environment, because there's little Biebs in his, like, white, you know, thug outfit with this freaking hoodie, and then on top of it there's a thing with chains on it, and the pants are down to here, and his little 8-year-old ass is hanging out. Like, well, my heart goes pitter-patter, whatever. So then Miley emerges for the duet at Madison Square Garden, and you can kind of see on her face that maybe she didn't wear the right outfit, because she comes out, and first of all, she's this much taller than Biebs, and she's got this black, I guess we'll go with dress, but she's giving you half cooch, and not full cooch, she's giving you half cooch. And then she's got like kind of sexy high leather boots, and she just looks like his mom. Like I don't know how they're only 2 years apart. It is stunning to me. So she comes out, and then he's kind of macking on her, like getting all up in her grill. And then you can kind of see this look on her face, like she's afraid that Chris Hansen is going to show up at any minute. And she's kind of looking down, you know, at him, and worried somebody's going to offer her sweet tea. And Biebs isn't having it because he's an international sex symbol. And so he's going toward her, and she's actually backing away as she's singing. And I'm sure she's thinking, oh, I should have covered this more. But that's for later. That's for the sequel. Straight guys, wake up. This is your section. Please tell me I'm not the only person watching Steven Seagal, Lawman. Thank you. Exactly. All right, this show is the best comedy on TV. Now, I know Modern Family is hilarious and 30 Rock is hilarious, but let me tell you, Steven Seagal, Lawman, is some funny shit. Now, the premise of the show, what we are expected to believe, is that Steven Seagal has been, for years, while we think he's an international superstar with his films in Romania that go to video, it turns out that we are to believe that the whole time he's actually been a sheriff's deputy, like f***ing Barney Fife, except not that cool, in Jefferson Parish, New Orleans. So the opening titles are worth it alone. So it starts with some footage from his older movies where he looked somewhat action-y and fit, like somewhat. And so then he says, you know, most of you know me from the movies, but it turns out this whole time I've been down here as a sheriff's deputy in Jefferson Parish because I'm Steven Seagal. That's right, Steven Seagal. Thank you. All right, so, but I love how he goes, that's right, as if your like mind is blowing. What? You do everything, man. So, all right, so a typical episode of Steven Seagal, Lawman, is that he is driving around with 3 other clearly overweight mall cops. Oh yeah. And Steven Seagal can barely fit into his kimono anymore. I'm sorry. No, he talks a lot about his training in karate. And I love when he says it like that, because also you should know he has 3 accents on the show. So sometimes he kind of tries to talk like he's in the Big Easy. I love me some catfish on the way to my karate. But the best part is when he's in trouble, then he's not so New Orleans anymore. For example, God forbid Steven Seagal has to freaking chase a perp, okay? Because if you can see the other 3 cops pushing his ass over the fence in the kimono, all of a sudden he's like, can you guys help me? Can you help me? I guess I haven't been doing enough. So he'll be in the car, and then I swear to God, he will pick out people for nothing, right? So he'll say, you know, years of my Eastern training and my kanapé has taught me how to see a perp who's up to no good. And then they'll show some poor guy just walking down the street in white shorts, right? And Seagal's like, white shorts, 2 o'clock. And then, I love when he uses all the like cop expressions, time to put the cherry on top. So, they'll try to chase the guy. They can never get anywhere because even if there's a fence this high, he's like, I'm good. We'll just go around the block. And then whenever they arrive on the scene, they're always like the 7th car. And you can tell they all have to wait for freaking Seagal to arrive. And the other cops are like looking at their watches because they've actually caught him. And the poor perp is just down with his face down with those plastic handcuffs. Like, what did I do? When he then is on the scene, there's this great moment where at first he wants to act like I'm just a regular cop. But what really chaps his ass is if the perp doesn't recognize him. So, right? Have you seen him when he's like, you think you're above the law? Nothing. So, I guess you think you can just put us under siege? And my favorite one, oh, he won't rest until they recognize him. So my favorite one was this like youngish guy down there in the plastic handcuffs who finally looks up and goes, oh man, you're Steven Seagal. My grandma loves you. All right, can we talk about the Palins just for a minute? Hi, it's Kathy Griffin, and we're here with your favorite Maggie Griffin. She'll be taking your Twitter questions. Maggie, what's your favorite boxed wine? Speaking wine, what's your favorite gay bar in West Hollywood?
Oh my gosh. Well, my favorite boxed wine would be, a Chardonnay or a Cabernet Sauvignon. And my favorite gay bar, we happen to like Rage for their hors d'oeuvres.
What about the fisting?
About what?
The fisting?
The 50.
Fisting.
I don't know what fisting is, and I have a feeling I don't want to know. Mm-hmm. So we'll skip that. We'll skip that right now.
All right, I know that you love your beloved Maggie Griffin. I hope you like the tape. I know. Which she doesn't necessarily know that I'm showing. But, you know, you give her a box of Franzia and she's good to go. So, all right, so even though she will probably be mortified, because I know that you get her and you love her, you're going to get this. May I please read you an email that I recently got from my mom? So this is, okay, I have a whole disclaimer. First of all, I hope you will relate to this, but I'm going to admit it's a little dark. It's a little dark. But those of you, if anyone else is from, I don't know, an Irish Catholic, drunken, dysfunctional family, yes, be proud, own it, be proud. Okay, so I'll show you. And the email came at about 2 in the morning one night. And I'm not saying there was a box of wine involved. I'm saying it was empty the next day. That's all I'm saying. And, I swear to God, my mom was just messing with me. But the subject line for the email was, Maggie's last wishes, first draft. Yes, so these are her funeral arrangements. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but when you hear the amount of thought, and keep in mind the amount of wine it took to get there, I think you'll enjoy it. All right, so first of all, she writes, tone is to be Irish Catholic and upbeat per mom. So that's a dig at me. That's a dig at me. Because she knows I make fun of the church and I call them kid f***ers and she hates that. It's a joke. It's a little bit of a joke. So yeah, she's very clear. Tone is to be Catholic. Kathleen Mary, I want a real goddamn mass for Christ's sake on a Sunday. Oh yeah, she always used to say, you know, in my day, the priest would come and he'd say the whole mass in Latin, the way it's supposed to be, and he had his back to the congregation. To which I always say, because he was whacking off. But music. My brother JM to make a CD. All right, I know what this is about. I remember her saying, the last thing I want is you spending your goddamn money on a live band, for Christ's sake. That's a waste of money. Did you know that your brother can make music on a computer for free? It's true. No, I heard about it. There's a way where you can go on the computer and make a whole bunch of songs in a row, and then you can just play it and it's for free. I don't want to hear about you spending, I don't know, $200 on some goddamn band. Highway robbery, for Christ's sake. Okay. I call it the death mix with love. All right, so upbeat songs, right? Number 1, Someone to Watch Over Me. I know, that's sad. That's a sad song. All right, number 2, Regina Coeli. Who the is that? Who the is Regina Coeli? How do I find her? Do I have to fly her from Italy? Who the hell is this Regina Coeli person? So then I look it up online and it's a Latin hymn. Because nothing says upbeat like a Latin hymn that no one's ever heard of. All right, and now here's where I suspect she's starting to get a little hammered, because the next one is Irish something. And then she suggests Rose of Tralee, which, if there are any other mix, is about as uplifting as Danny Boy, which makes you want to kill yourself. And then she starts this runner that I really love, which I clearly, when she just can't think of anything else, she does 3 stars and she just writes more to come. All right, so this next part is, I just hope you think it's funny. It's really sick, but it's why I'm this way. It's what's wrong with me. Anyway, okay, so then there's very elaborate instructions on where she wants the ashes spread. Now, I'm gonna need your help, because it's f***ing global. So get ready. Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those plane tickets that goes around the world. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Some of Mom's ashes to be spread around Chicago. Yeah, the whole city. The Lake, Michigan Avenue, Water Tower Place, Hancock, Oprah's house, just around Chicago. And then, of course, my brother's place is in Chicago, Gary and JM's homes. Oh, that'll be great. Ding dong, hi, gotta go. Uncomfortable. All right, and then, all right, get ready. Some of Mom's ashes to be spread at the Rose Garden, this is once again at the Pierce Brothers, with Dad's in a, quote, secret mission. Pierce Brothers is this famous cemetery in Los Angeles where a lot of celebrities are buried. Okay, so I call my mom and I said, what is the secret mission? How is this the first time I've ever heard of this? Well, I didn't want to tell you, Kathleen, because you get so goddamn sensitive. I said, what did you do? Well, I don't have to tell you. I know, but just tell me. Well, fine. When your father passed away, we couldn't afford a headstone at Pierce Brothers, which is f***ing bullshit. You know, I would have bought her a f***ing skyscraper at f***ing Pierce Brothers if you wanted, but whatever. So what we had to do was we had to go get a plaque made over at Kinko's. So now I know what she means by the plaque. She's already freaking gone to Kinko's, had a plaque made. And she goes, and so we sort of snuck into Pierce Brothers in the off hours, and we spread some of your father's ashes, and then we put the plaque against a tree near Marilyn Monroe. What? Okay, so you know I'll do whatever she wants. So you know I'm gonna be on TMZ with a skull cap and Charlie Sheen, climbing over the fence, spreading the ashes and putting a Heroes plaque down. Love you. So will you guys come with me? Because I can't do it alone. I'm too frightened. All right. Can we talk about the Palins just for a minute? All right, so are you ready for some inside? Okay. This is good. All right. So a few weeks ago, I was doing a one-nighter in Reno. So I was performing in a casino, and I'm going to sound like a tool, but don't judge. This one time, I flew private. I know, high and mighty. Okay, whatever. So I'm on a jet going to the gig, and then I get an email from somebody that says, heads up, Sarah Palin's going to be there at the same time. You may run into her at the airport. So you should know that Sarah Palin, among the people, just you betcha, I'm just one of you betcha, flies private everywhere on a Lear or higher, meaning a G5, which I can't tell you how expensive it is. To fly from Wasilla to Reno has got to be $50K each way. So cry me a river while you're at it. So I pull into the airport and I see Air Palin, and I'm like, holy balls, that thing's like a house. And I'm all cha-ching, 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 in my mind I'm doing the math, right? So then I go to the casino where I'm playing, and then I find out that she's staying at the same casino. And so then several workers from the casino, and I mean those gay bellhops were lining up to tell me. Dirt. And she was there to speak at a hunting convention. Now, let me school you. You might think, big deal, a bunch of hunters. They had so many, big private jets at that airport. I mean, they had money to burn. So I don't know what she got for the gig. I'm assuming like $250, like crazy money, plus the private jet. So sure enough, when I get there, several of the people there said that when she heard I was coming, she checked into a different hotel for 2 nights, which makes me very proud as an American and a patriot. I mean, that's awesome. So I was very, very excited, and so they told me what hotel she was at, and I tried to get them to tell me the room number so I could say it on stage, but I didn't. No. Let me tell you something. When you make fun of the Palins, that army has descended upon me, and my hate mail and death threats and Twitters are literally, I'm coming to your house tomorrow to murder you, was one of them. I'm outside your house looking in your bedroom window with a gun. They're like, oh yeah, they're yeah. Although I would say the Palin army probably could never really survive against the gay army, but I know. Because we don't need guns. We have sarcasm, and we have snark, and we have our verbal rapier wit, and damn it, that's how we conquer. Anyway, that's all we need. That's all we need. But I would tell you, it was bizarre. Like when I was going through the kitchen of the hotel, like just guns were freaking piled up. Like on the bell carts, just rifle, holy shit. So anyway, I was very excited that she checked out, and she was checking back in the day that I was leaving. So as I was leaving, I called downstairs to get the bell guy to come get all the bags, and before I said anything, I pick up the phone, and the operator says, Governor? So I'm in her room, which has to chap her ass. I know. But it was just funny. So the poor operator, I just go off on them for no reason when they go, Governor. I go, first of all, she's not the governor any longer. And when you abdicate, you do not get to keep the title. Last time I checked, she was no kind of governor. Guess who she is? She's a reality star, just like me. We're no different. She's got a reality show. I got a reality show. Except mine has a couple Emmys. What was your question? So this 85-year-old guy stands up and goes, you! So I did one of my specials called Kathy Griffin Does the Bible Belt in beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. And so I was thrilled. Now, the letter that was waiting for me at the theater is this one. And Bill Maher was also performing a week later, so this guy's freaking head was exploding. Anyway, so I'm going to read this letter to you as written. I'm not going to correct anything. Okay, so I am very surprised, insulted, and shocked He's not so into tense. Okay. Finding out Kathy Griffin and Bill Maher are coming to Knoxville, especially to this first and historic place. Did you guys know that? Yeah, Knoxville was the first place on Earth. Yeah. Evolution, myth. Darwin, big liar. Earth started in Knoxville. Okay. They can be comedian, but their political views and insults to Christian and other political parties. Are you registered? And Christian, wait for it, orientated families. I love the orientated. It gets me every time. You know, he probably got all discombobulated and had to go to the library. Christian-orientated families with money and not money. Yeah. Sometimes people have money and then they have not money. It depends how they're orientated. And booking them here are really a low blow. Okay, now he's got me there. Considering the amount of gay guys that come to my shows, believe me, there were low blows and high blows. Girl, everybody got blown that night, trust me. One way or another. Also, I will not step a foot in that theater and will prohibit my kids to attend. Well, that's a good call, because a little young for the pussy jokes, am I right? I was very touched to look out into the audience, and like right where you guys are, there was this older couple, had to be like mid-80s. And you know, my dad lived till he was 90, and I was so touched because the guy reminded me of my dad, and I thought, wow, how open-minded to be that age in Knoxville, Tennessee, and want to come hear me and my foul mouth. And it was just, I don't know, it just touched me, right? So sure enough, I'm doing the show and I'm looking at the two of them and they're so cute. And then I had just started my Tea Party material. I mean, I just barely been making fun of their revisionist history and their lack of acknowledging slavery. I just barely touching on the Tea Party. And then sure enough, the guy does to the wife what he's probably been doing for years, but I see him out of the corner of my eye do one of these. Like that. All right, so I then see the wife do what I call the purse shuffle, which is she's looking like, uh-oh. She's trying to get her handbag, and he's doing the, come on, let's go. All right, I don't know what came over me because I'm not a comedian that like talks to people or says, where are you from? I don't know if the lights were on too bright or what, but I decide, I don't know what I was thinking. I say to the sweet guy, what's the matter? Can't handle a Tea Party joke, buddy? So this 85-year-old guy stands up and goes, you. Thank you guys for being a phenomenal audience. Waving the cameras. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night.
All right, now this is from @Ozzy411. Maggie, I have a question for you. How many jobs have you had in your lifetime?
My first job was I worked for a lawyer, and I was very badly prepared.
Is that my real father?